Howdy y'all, it's Sunday, June 8th, probably 12:30 noon. So, and I've come out here to the RV because Thor had issued a safety recall notice on the slide out, and it happens to do with the emergency brake switch. And I was able to get the documentation on the safety recall and read it over, and I might be able to post that here, I don't know. But it basically says you got to check to make sure the slide out doesn't operate when the emergency switch is not pressed. And if it does, there's a problem with the wiring here and it has to be fixed. So I came out to look. I don't trust Camping World at this point. Every time we've taken it in, our RV in, they've caused more problems. And I had brought this up to them many months ago, last year, that the slide out wasn't working properly. So I came out today to take a look at this wiring switch harness at the emergency brake, and I just poked my head under there and I'm actually shocked at what I found. So I'm going to show you, and this is disturbing. Okay, here we are. Take a peek under here. First thing I see is a ground wire, it looks like, is not connected. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's, don't know about that. But then as you go up here, see the red wire they talk about that comes along here, that goes in behind here. Okay, fine, I'm following it up, and I go up here, and what the heck is this? Somebody has been in here and they did a hodgepodge connection. It looks like the original wiring harness has been chewed up here, and then somebody went and just stripped the wire back on this one and then tied this one in. And then this is the switch that we're supposed to be looking at. I guess this is the emergency switch, emergency brake switch. I'm really disturbed. When I had brought this to Camping World's attention that we had a problem with our slide out, and they supposedly looked into it, they didn't see this. And this actually came, what, from Thor? Did they do this? You've got to be kidding me. I am shocked. That is not professional. That's actually disturbing and incompetent. I'm shocked. So I'm looking around a little bit more. Not only do I see this wire not connected to anything, but as I'm looking around, I see here's another one. Another green wire in a harness, not connected to anything. I don't know what is going on here, but talk about a joke. I don't know if this had to come from Thor. And by the way, there's supposed to be a wire harness connector up here, a Ford connector that connects up to this switch. I'll show you a picture of the safety recall notice of what it's supposed to look like before and after. This is disturbing. Okay, so I'm doing a little more here, tracing wires back. I went ahead and I disconnected this red wire from up here where the switch is, and I disconnected this switch from the frame, okay, because I want to unplug this connector here. And then I disconnected the red wire from here, and it was just dangling, you know, with wire exposed. So I got a lot of slack in that red wire, pink wire. So I just cut this off because I don't know if there's voltage on this. I don't want to short anything out. So I'm going to disconnect this little connector now and pull this out and take a better look at it. See if I can focus that better. Yeah, I'm going to disconnect that. All right, so I've got the switch out, and I'm going to check the switch first before I do anything else. Basic continuity test. Let's see what we got. It's difficult to get to that guy. Let's try this. All right, it's got continuity when it's open. Press the switch and it loses continuity. Open it, like emergency brake is released, not pressed, I have continuity, so electricity would flow. And then the emergency brake is pressed and it opens the switch. Okay, that seems to be working properly if that's the way it's wired, you know, it's supposed to be that way. That's, the switch is working. Let's check the rest of this. All right, so now I'm going to check the wires that go to the switch off the harness. What I've done is I've got my ground lead stuck in here on ground, okay? My meter, I'm going to set it to volts DC, okay? And I'm going to probe the wires up here. Let's see here. And basically, if I can get a good shot here, I'm going to touch the metal that's exposed on that one wire. And what do you know? I have 9 volts. Wow. That's not good. So there's a black and a white wire, right? And what they've done, let me switch this around. Okay, so this is idiotic on multiple levels. First of all, it's a extremely poor quality. That's something you would see a 12-year-old do when he's trying to connect up his, I don't know, car radio to a battery to get a radio to work, because I did that when I was 12 years old. But this is in a $100,000 motor coach, so that's shocking. Another thing that's really disturbing is the way they've connected it is extremely bad, but whoever connected this, they connected it to the hot wire. That's the 12-volt wire. So it's connected with a wire wrapped around it, the insulation peeled back from the original Ford wire, and this red wire, insulation's peeled back and it's wrapped around it with bare wire exposed with 12 volts there. So all that has to happen is as you put your feet under the dash, you're driving or whatever, and you happen to bump that thing and it touches the frame, it's going to at the very least blow a fuse. It could possibly create sparks and arcing, maybe a fire, who knows. And then when you press the emergency brake, it opens the switch, but you still have that 12 volts on that white wire because that's the power wire. Okay, after my investigating this, it looks to me like Thor never installed their little wiring harness that connects to the slide out. And the reason why is, if they had, those pieces would still be there, or there would be at least some parts of them. Maybe somebody else would have modified them, but they're not. They're completely gone. And the wiring is actually stripped back on the Ford part of the wiring that goes to that emergency brake switch. So that tells me that when Thor was building this motor coach, they had the Ford chassis, they built the motor coach part of it, and when it came to wiring this slide out connection, whoever was doing it, either they didn't have the part, probably they didn't have the part, there was a shortage and they didn't want to wait. They probably wanted to hurry up and get their production out. So they just decided, we'll just strip back the wiring here and wrap this guy around here, which is absolutely a juvenile way to fix something. It's not even a fix, it's incompetent, negligent, my opinion, worthy of a class action lawsuit. I think that the reason why this safety recall notice came out was, I think Thor got wind that this had happened on some of their motor coaches. They probably fired that technician or manager or whoever made that happen, but they are trying to cover their butt now, and they think, we got all these bunch of motor coaches out there that we had Joe Blow over here not properly install the wiring harness. He just wrapped it like this, and so we don't want to get sued, so let's do a safety recall. We'll check all these motor coaches, and in the process, when we find one like this, we'll go ahead and put the wiring harness in. Nobody will know. It'll be all good. No, not good. Thor, you screwed up. So what I'm doing is I've taken screenshots of that Thor safety recall notice, and I'm attaching it to this video. So they'll be quick. They'll probably go by quickly, but if you want to read it, just pause your video and read each page. Not sure if I can attach the whole document. If I can figure out how to do that, I will. But in the meantime, I've got the safety recall notice information with pictures. Y'all can take a look at it. It's it'll be eye-opening if you have this same kind of a problem with your motor coach, and if you are affected by the safety recall notice, I would strongly advise investigating to see, first of all, if your coach is covered under this, and find out if your wiring is screwed up like this too. Before you take it in to have it fixed, take some pictures, look underneath there, have a mechanic look at it and see if it's been hodgepodge like this. Because if it has, I think I'm right, that Thor did this, they screwed up, and they're trying to avoid being sued. So anyway, till next time, you guys have a good one.